I'd been looking at it for a long time because it's right directly across the street from my house. And so every time we would walk out of the door, we would see it. Every time we would look out the window, we would see. And, I tried to accept the fact that, it's just an empty lot and people are going to use it for whatever purposes they want. But my concern for the neighborhood children made me very uncomfortable with the fact that people were using it to go to the bathroom. The kids didn't need to see someone going to the bathroom out in the middle of the street or on the sidewalk. And the kids were playing in there. And so, you have all types of tools and nails and all this kind of stuff from building debris. We had gone on a couple retreats with the circle and stuff like that. And so I'd, experienced like sitting out in the woods and, just how awesome it felt to listen in that environment and stuff. And so this was the closest woods I had available to me. I began realizing that as I worked, I was able to listen to God while I was working. And it seemed contrary. It seemed like you would listen better when you're sitting still and being quiet. But for me, it seemed easier for me to hear while I was actually doing something that was rhythmic and that required some level of physical energy. And so God really used a lot of those moments to really speak to me in very profound ways. I began digging a little deeper. I realized that there was a lot of brick and cement just below the surface. When I first found the cement, I looked at it and, it was a huge patch. And I thought to myself, I can't go any further. Like, I'm not going to be able to make this area grassy because this whole area is just one solid cement block. I'd become very discouraged about trying to make the grassy area larger. And then I began to dust the soil away even more and, really try to clear the area out. And as I dug more and I swept away, I realized that what I saw was just a small segment and that it was cracked around the edges. And so as I swept away, I found the edges of the cement, and I was able to pull up this huge cement slab. And it was very profound because for as long as I can remember, I'd been hoping to try to figure out ways to help make the impoverished areas of Philadelphia healthier and better places to live. And it's felt like these giant demons or these giant dragons that are unconquerable. The message that I received from God is every dragon has its edges. Every dragon has its limits, and that the only presence, the only being that is omnipresent is God himself. The changes in the garden have been very slow. I've always been very interested and fascinated with these very big changes and these very big ideas, trying to change the entire city of Philadelphia or this whole ghetto area of Philadelphia. And what I'm hearing more and more is that the way that you make these big changes is by focusing on very specific places and in very specific ways. And so it's been fascinating for me to focus on this small plot of land. And so I'd be out there, working on the garden, and a prostitute would be walking by with a pimp, and, she'd be helping herself to blackberries. Oh, have you tasted these? Oh, you got to try some. And that's so awesome to me because, that's what we're supposed to be about. We're supposed to be generating so much fruit that everyone can benefit